Welcome to the Driver's Line. I'm Greg.
And I'm Jordan.
And today, we've got a conversation for you.
And our conversation today is all about cars that didn't do so great in 2025.
That's right. So these are cars that were sales flops or just generally not well received by the buying public.
Yeah, so we're just going to give you three, and I'm going to start off with something from Germany.
Ooh, yes. Germany, the land of the Autobahn.
Yeah, well, Greg and I are both big fans of this brand. Greg owns one right now, actually, and that's Audi.
Mm-hmm.
Audi is known for well-built interiors, easy-to-use interiors. Everything that you manipulate on the inside is really elevated.
Yeah, just thoughtful design, right? I mean, that is one of the key components that Audi has done just a tremendous job of over the years. Not so much reliability, but wonderful design.
That is fair. So, while they've recently refreshed their midsize crossovers, well, really a lot of their midsize lineup, right? But so this is kind of aimed at just the A6 and as well as the SQ6 and Q6 and all those. The interiors on these new Audis are just shameful, guys. Like, honestly, the material quality is not there. Audi admits it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
There are screens everywhere for no reason. The design is just so disjointed. It does not feel like an upscale interior, and I feel like they're starting to move away from what Audi really means.
Right.
So
that premium brand that they've built for themselves is being torn down right now. It's something that Volkswagen went through when they kind of went down market with the GTI, right? It's something that Honda went through when they decontented that Civic all those years ago and then literally had to turn around to fix it like 2 years later because nobody was buying it. Nobody likes it.
Yeah.
When you're still charging the same price, but you're getting less.
And that's exactly it. And this new SQ5 and Q5 lineup is actually more money than the old one with giving you less really overall when you look at the features and the performance. So it's kind of a step back in my opinion.
It really is, and so much a step back that I also chose an Audi for my group, but I chose a different one than you.
Okay, fair.
So I actually went with the newly named A5,
yes.
which replaces the A5 and A4 in Audi's lineup. The exterior design to me is a massive step backwards, right? The front end resembles the Dodge Dart. Not a place you want to be with thinking about your premier prestige Audi, right? You don't want that associated with your brand whatsoever, and when you see it, you cannot unsee it. It really, really looks like it, and it's disappointing. And then everything you said about the interior holds true for that line as well. It just doesn't make sense. They've rebranded their S logos. They've rebranded their RS logos. They've rebranded the entire Audi rings. Now it's flat.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
It just looks so downscale from where they should be, and it's just odd choices. And you're right. Why is the question?
Yeah. Looks very down market, and the new A5 costs $3,000 more than the old one. So you're paying for more, getting less. Why? Audi, come on.
Yeah.
Do better.
Definitely got to do better, for sure. Well, for my next pick, I'm staying in Germany. Beat up on the Germans today, sorry. But this one I think is probably not a surprise to most automotive folks out there, and it is the G90 M5.
Oh, yes.
It's a porker.
It is.
So that's obviously a big problem behind it.
It is a big problem.
It really is. Not to beat this horse again, but when we're talking about a car like the M5, it's all about performance, and part of performance is the feel behind the wheel. And this car has been panned across the board for, well, yeah, it's fast, but it does not engage you as a driver, and part of that is that weight to incorporate more hybrid motors for tax write-offs in Europe, basically, is really the purpose. It's not super efficient in terms of miles per gallon,
no,
right? And it's slower than the old M5.
Yes.
It's heavier, and it's uglier. So, I'm trying to find a win here, and I don't see one.
There is one small win.
Give it to me.
We're going to get it in the wagon.
Okay, that's true. Points there. Props BMW. We get an ugly, slow, fast wagon. Sort of.
I mean, 100% still buying the RS6 Avant, still going with the E63.
Yeah.
But the fact that we're actually getting it is a major win. But every other point you made completely stands because this has been a major step back from the previous generation M5, which was absolutely fantastic in every way, shape, and form. Performance, looks, appeal, everything. I guess except for maybe efficiency, but who cares? It's an M5.
Right.
If you really care that much about fuel mileage, worry about that with your i4s. Worry about that, with all your EVs that you put out there, the iX. Come on. Use your down market cars to make your miles per gallon improve, right? Across your line.
Totally.
It just boggles my mind. It really, really does.
Yeah.
We don't need to do that in our performance cars.
No.
Unless it adds value, and here it does not.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've really been beating up in Germany, and I have another German on my list, but I'm going to go over to America because we need to give the Germans a break.
Oh.
So, one of these cars has been so bad that it has already been killed for next year.
Oof.
Yes.
Ouch.
And it was really just released last year, kind of, as a 2025 model. So it came out in 2024 as a 2025 model, and it is this brand's first foray into the EV market. And I'm talking about the Dodge Charger RT and Scat Pack. So now Dodge has learned their lesson. They've already figured out a way to go ahead and shoehorn that Hemi engine in there. They were already planning on doing a straight 6 turbo, which was great, calling it the 6-pack. But they started off with these EVs. They came out with the RT and then the Scat Pack. Both of them make a great amount of horsepower. They both cost a lot too. Yeah. So the RT was, I think, around $55,000, and then the Scat Pack was at least $10,000 more than that. So you're looking at a very expensive car, especially for a Dodge. I mean, frankly, these aren't your top of the line SRT trims. These are kind of supposed to be like the mid-level type stuff. Yeah. And the buying public did not like them. They were buggy. They didn't really work. Edmunds really just had one, and it started accelerating on its own. Not a great look. No. Not a great look. So this is a big part of why a lot of the buying public has really stayed away from these. You're seeing massive discounts on these. You can get an RT for $10,000 to $15,000 off, a Scat Pack for up to like $20,000 off. At that price point, they kind of start to make a little bit of sense, but that's not what Dodge really wants to get for them. The other thing that was really holding this back is they were only available in a coupe. Dodge was planning a sedan coming out a little bit later, I think for 2026, but not available yet. And so that really limits your buyer pool as well. So these cars have sat on dealers' lots. The people that buy the Mopar Power don't want an EV. They want a Rumley V8, and that Fratzonic exhaust is not doing it for them.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to give them some credit for stepping out of the box. I think the Fratzonic exhaust, while a little bit gimmicky, Dodge is about, being a little outrageous. So I do get what they were going with that. I don't think launching an all-electric sports car under the Challenger nameplate or the Charger nameplate, or incorporating those two things, is really the right place to go. I think having electric sports cars, cool, that's fine. Like if you want to play around in that market, but maybe name it something different and give it its own appeal. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to actually end production like that so quickly.
I know. Yeah. Just to really go ahead and just say, oh, we're going to go ahead and nix this one model right off the bat.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Oof. But go get yourself a $300 a month lease on the Challenger if you want.
That actually might not be a bad idea. Exactly.
Charger.
Yeah. These lease deals are getting insane at this point for some of these EVs that are having trouble selling, because you get to go ahead and stack any rebate from the manufacturer, any discounts from the dealer, plus that EV tax credit, which, well, it's still around.
There you go. Well, you switched out of Germany, but I'm bringing us back. Sorry.
Oh, no. And all three Germans?
I know. It's rough. I know.
Wow.
But I got to end on something that's more personal.
Okay.
Going back to Volkswagen and the GTI. Yes, it's very sad and angry. Now, they did a refresh on it, named it the Mark 8.5, right? So for that, typically, as Volkswagen does, you get a little more power and you get revised front fascias, rear fascias, interior materials. So what did they do? Well, they gave us the front and rear fascias and some buttons on the steering wheel. Now, we all wanted those buttons on the steering wheel. It did not go far enough, though. The feel of that car just feels a little bit down market from where it should be. Now, that's not to say it's a bad car. It drives well. And there are some nice features on it, but the way everything is pulled together, it doesn't speak to what Volkswagen should be, which is simplicity. It's timelessness. This car's interior alone does not represent that. It would be a stopping point for me to buy it. And it's unfortunate that they did not do more with this mid-cycle update, because I think that they could have actually really adjusted where it's going, and I think a lot of Volkswagen fanboys, like myself, are kind of upset by that, honestly.
So would you have given it a thumbs up if they gotten rid of that whole sea of piano black?
Guys, yes, please, get rid of that. I don't dig the screen that's on there. I think it just looks tacked on. There's just a lot of cheap touches that add up to just an overall poor experience. But there are individual elements that are really good about it. I wish, the DSG is amazing. The seats are super comfortable. It handles well. But man, there's just some things that you come in contact with every day that, you know, if it's your daily car, which is what a GTI usually is, right, or a Golf R, like it should be a little more elevated for Volkswagen.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. I mean, that's an excellent call out. This was their opportunity to fix a lot of the ills from the Mark 8, and they only fixed a small portion of them. Yeah, which is unfortunate. So, wow, rough go for Germany in this podcast.
Ouch.
And it's not over yet.
Oh no!
So we have to hit my last choice here. And this is one of actually the most popular vehicles being sold right now. They can't keep them on the lots at Mercedes dealers. So Greg, why are you talking about this? Well, there's one specific submodel of the G-Wagon that is selling very, very poorly. So the G-Wagons, when they were redesigned, started flying off the dealer lots. Everybody loves the G500, G63, the V8, rorty, fun, loud G-Wagons, right? But then they decided to make one that was whisper quiet. They made the G-Wagon an EV. And this just doesn't fit the ethos of that vehicle. Seeing this big tank rolling down the street in a whisper quiet EV just doesn't really resonate with buyers. I mean, yeah, it can do a tank turn, super cool, but I mean, is that enough to sell a vehicle? Right. No, it's not, right? And so that's been one of the biggest challenges with them. They obviously still cost a fortune, but dealers cannot give them away just because it's something that the audience doesn't want.
Yeah, I mean, that's really unfortunate because I know there was a lot of engineering that went into that to maintain its, body on frame structure and its body style as close to as the old one it should be. But this is kind of a place where I think like Cadillac deviated from Mercedes, right? They took their big, large, heavy body on frame SUV and they wanted to make it electric, but they gave it its own unique spin on it because an electric car buyer is different from someone who buys a full-size big V8 Storton SUV buyer.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. And so they've sold at a clip of about 1/5 the rate of the gas G-Wagon, which is not enough. I mean, I'm really surprised that Mercedes hasn't announced this. They've killed it already. But I would imagine that's probably coming soon.
Well, maybe we'll get a $300 a month lease on that.
Don't count on it.
Well, are there any cars that you have really hated looking at this year? We want to hear about in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. So thank you so much for watching.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us on The Driver's Line.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss a thing.